Well, reviews are starting to pour in for the new Spider Man movie, and we'll go over that and maybe some predictions for what I expect to see. I have not seen the movie, I have not even looked at any sort of spoiler things, and so I'm your average man on the street as it gets on this. My name's John Delarose. I am a number one best-selling comic creator and award-winning author. You can get my comics on my website right here. I've got Flying Sparks up on display, and Flying Sparks has great street level action. If you miss like the old school Spider-Man before it went a crazy multiverse, and there's room for that, but I loved the street level stuff. I love it like when Daredevil's just beating up thugs, or the Punisher's in the middle of the streets doing things, or it's Batman or Batgirl or whatnot, doing the street level stuff that like you can still relate to them as people. I think all these companies have gone way too far into making everything cosmic and multiversing and all this stuff, which can be fun, but the classics have a place too. Check out Flying Sparks today. All right, the critic reviews are in, according to Bounding Into Comics, my favorite comic book news website. And it looks like Spider-Man is getting universally hailed positive reviews. Marvel's had some problems as of late. Eternals was universally panned by the audience, and of course for good reason, as it seemed to be a boring, navel-gazing sort of offering where they just went too far into stuff people don't care about and tried to force the LGBT whatever LGBT I can talk stuff across that along the way, which just turns people off and makes people not want to see it. It suffered one of Marvel's worst opening weekends ever, and it really disappeared quickly from the airspace. Shang-Chi did much the same with a pretty bad opening, which they blamed on COVID, and of course they blamed on having an Asian character. They always try to make like a identity politics reason for these movies to be, quote, suffering. But at the end of the day, people just want to watch a decent movie and not have to deal with any of the crap that goes along with it. Now, Shang-Chi didn't have really the big identity politics problems that Eternals had, but they also went off the rails with it. Shang-Chi, again, is just a street character, who does kung fu, and they pushed him into this, like, fantasy land, halfway through the movie, which just, didn't excite people all that much. But Spider-Man, offers something different. Spider-Man is a character people know and love compared to these other properties that Marvel's trying to get you to know and love. And it's had a successful film history. It's got villains that people know and love. It's got background characters people know and love, even though this version of it kind of has drifted from that with making Aunt May into like a younger, sexier Aunt May, which really bothers me. And of course, making MJ into like some strange, I don't even know what race she is, but instead of the hot redhead that she was. Of course, they added that into it, but as far as that goes in 2021, you didn't get a gay character, and that's a big deal. We finally have a movie without that to go watch with the family, I guess, if that's what you want. But here it is. 94% critics are saying it's fantastic. It's wonderful. I know they're bringing back all the member berries with this, with apparently the old Spider-Man universe stuff coming in on this. And again, I have not seen really any spoilers. I guess here's one. There's Dr. Octopus, if that's a spoiler. They've got the Iron Spider outfit that, he keeps getting these Iron Man-ish powers. We've got Green Goblin. All the villains seem to be in this. If they're just bringing the Sinister Six in this from the other universes or whatnot and doing it that way, I guess that works pretty well. If it's got a bunch of action-packed stuff, all you have to do is lean on the comics. The Sinister Six is a pretty exciting comic book back in the day when it was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And, that theme has been used multiple times to run Spider-Man through a gauntlet and then have him face all of his top villains. Of course, that's going to be something that seems to be a decent movie. It's easy to do. Of course, it's easy enough for these companies to screw it up, but that is what it is. But what lends credence to the critic reviews, and I don't usually care about the critics for anything, is that Rob Liefeld actually made a comment on this. And Rob Liefeld's a creator from the 90s who actually really cares about the action, about the fun of things. He says he can't believe what he just watched. It ushers in a new era for the MCU. They've punched through to another level, ascended above all their previous benchmarks, and there's no going back. Spectacular, amazing. That's a pretty good review from Rob Liefeld, who I actually trust beyond a lot of these other people. So I actually expect this will be an okay movie. It'll be pretty fun. I think they're probably going to just blow past that street level action that I loved. Honestly, back in the original Spider-Man movie, when it was just Tobey Maguire versus the Green Goblin or whatever, and it was all in the street, you didn't need to go into a multiverse or whatever to make it more dangerous and more exciting than the last one. That was pretty fun by itself. But I think they'll capture a little bit of that, and I think it will be fun. I think the benchmark for Marvel movies at this point is so low. We've had so many bad movies in a row that people just don't care about or forgettable. That anything that doesn't have that and then doesn't have the LGBTQIA whatever propaganda to it is just a breath of fresh air at this point. It is. That's the bar. You just got to make a movie that's okay, and you got to make a movie with characters people care about, and you got to not have any of the propaganda for identity politics. That simple. Well, I think all those three things will be accomplished, and I expect it'll be a pretty decent movie, but I think it is getting overhyped for a couple reasons. One, that people just love Spider-Man, and so that makes it easy. Number two, I think the movie industry is dying for a win at this point. They've had a big failure of a year, and of course, there's pandemic's part of that. But on the other hand, they've just been in such a creative drought for a long time, and this is actually a continuation of the creative drought, that they don't have much going for them whatsoever. And so they need $1 billion property to keep themselves afloat, and they want to push that as hard as possible. All right, what do you think? What do you expect out of Spider-Man? Spoiler free in the comments, please. And of course, let me know what you think this is going to do financially. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.